People ask me what I do. I am president of DP Love Enterprises and founder of the Finishers Network, a division of my company. My team and I, we provide information, resources, and support to disrupt excuses, help people get unstuck, and finish what they start. That's right. There's a lot of people that start a lot of things, but they never finish them. And I'm talking about things that are really in their heart to finish, not just ordinary goals. I'm sure you've probably heard the research that suggests that many people start a lot of things at the beginning of the year. We set all these goals, we have vision boards, we have all these parties, we establish all these resolutions, and yet by February, March, many people have not taken action in the direction of their goals. As a matter of fact, some research suggests that about 92% of people who start things never finish them. Can you believe that? That's significant. That suggests that only 7 to 8% of people are finishing their goals. So my company helps people finish what they start. I've been trained to do a lot of what I'm doing. Really hadn't intended to go in this area, but I found that because a lot of people were stuck, primarily women I was finding who had a complex trauma history, that they were really struggling and didn't understand why. I often say, you don't know what you don't know. And so I've got a master's in social work. I have a PhD in social work, as well as an MBA that focuses on entrepreneurship. And my bachelor's is actually in applied psychology. So I've been well trained in the area to help people move forward, to really look at what's keeping them from moving forward, and to be able to achieve, just to really cross the finish line of their goals. But it's not only my training that has helped me, it's my lived experiences. I've experienced significant trauma over the years. And so as much as I've done, coaching and mentoring and offering online courses, it's my lived experiences that have really helped me, in other people's words, to be non-judgmental, to hear them, to see beyond what they're saying and presenting, and be able to push them forward. But it hasn't always been that way. I haven't been able to push people forward or even achieve a lot of my own goals. I was stuck for a long time. And I remember one specific incident that I believe really contributed to me not being able to move forward. I was about 7 or 8 years old, and I remember my parents were going someplace, and they allowed me to stay at someone's house. And because of the number of people that were in the house, we knew we were going to have to pair up with folks and sleep, together. And so that night we put on our pajamas and we're going to sleep, and I get in the bed, and I'm in the bed with someone who was a female who was older than me. We get in bed and I'm getting ready to turn over. We say, good night, lights out. Folks who were in the bed a little bit farther from me probably had started to doze off. And I'm about to turn when this female begins to touch me inappropriately. She touched me in places that I just didn't know what to do. And I tried to pull away from her, and I said something. She's like, shh, be quiet. And that was probably the first time that I disconnected from my emotions. I just disconnected. I don't even know where I went in that moment. But what I know is that it changed me. Something happened. Something happened that I was really different. And what I came to realize over the years is that sometimes it's one touch, one experience, one person that can change your life. That one incident changed my life significantly. Just that one. So, as you can imagine, after being molested, that was one incident in my life. But when I think about the challenges that have occurred, that I've had to overcome, there's one specific one that, after that incident, really contributed to me being stuck even more. And I remember it so clearly. It was a little after midnight. It was a fall. I was 13 years old. There I was at Providence Hospital in Baltimore, Maryland. And it was an incident that devastated me. let me tell you a little bit about just the backdrop of that. I was starting not to feel well, as a result of being molested. I was I was drinking, I was smoking, I was getting high by the time I was 12 years old. And so I was, starting to be promiscuous. And so, I was having all of these bladder issues, and my mother decided to take me to the doctors. And so we're sitting in the doctor's office and waiting for them to come back with whatever prescription I was going to have to take. And the doctor had left the office, ran some tests, came back into the office and said, "Your daughter is pregnant." I don't even remember much after that. I don't remember what my mother said. I just remember once we got home, my father was pacing in the kitchen. He's going back and forth and yelling, and I will send that guy to prison for statutory rape. You better hope that I don't do that. What are you going to do? I said, "I want to have my baby." "What do you mean? You're a baby trying to have a baby. You're not going to have that baby." And so because I was so far along, it was about 3.5 months, they elected to wait until I was about 4 months, put me in the hospital, and there I was having a saline type abortion where they sent me into labor. And there, a little after midnight on that December 10th, I'm 13 years old, I ejected a dead child from my body, and I asked to see it. That experience sent me into a really dark place for a long time. I tried to commit suicide multiple times, continue to drink, get high, do all sorts of things that my parents didn't understand because they didn't know that I had been molested. So they didn't know how that had contributed to all the things that I was going through. But that I spiraled, and I vowed that I would never let anybody else hurt me. I became angry. That one experience took me decades to overcome. Decades. There are a lot of lessons that I've learned along this journey. And I think the one that really helped me to get to finishing, one of the big lessons that I've learned is what you finish is never just about you. I want to say that again. What you finish is never just about you. That was a lesson that I didn't quite understand for a long time. I always thought, I got to do this. I set these goals. I need to finish this degree. I need to do all these things. But I remember in 2004, I was in graduate school and I had just had surgery. And I was out of work. So I was working almost full-time, but also going to school part-time in the graduate program at University of Maryland in Baltimore. And I called my supervisor because I had been off of work for 6 weeks, and I had a couple more weeks that I could be off. So I was having a conversation with her saying, the doctor suggested that I take those additional 2 weeks. And so during the conversation, I decided to say something to her that I wasn't quite sure how she would react. I said, I don't think I want to finish this program. I have gotten a taste of what it's like to enjoy life. I'm having a chance to spend time with family and friends, things that I haven't been able to do for a long time. I've been researching and writing and doing, and it's taking me away from things that I enjoyed. And I took a deep breath and waited to see what she was going to say. But I was surprised because she said to me, "It's okay if you change your mind." It really is. She said, as women, we often think because we've made a decision that we have to stick with it, but it's okay to change your mind. Now, let me say this to you. If you decide not to finish, you'll just put ABD behind your name, all but dissertation. But if you finish, you'll be able to put PhD behind your name. And I want you to remember, you really don't know what's on the other side of that, finishing that degree. I spoke to another mentor not too long after that who said, I just want you to remember, something you may not understand, that what's on the other side of that degree is not just for you. There are going to be benefits. Yeah, you're going to get a lot of open doors and opportunities, but it's going to help a lot of people. That was a huge lesson for me to take the focus off of me and realize what I do impacts others. I remember that when it was time to celebrate, have the graduation after I went ahead and finished the program, and people said, it's like, I don't really want to celebrate. I don't want to do this. And someone reminded me, someone very close said, this is not just about you. All the people who have supported you, all the people who have, been there cheering you on, those are the ones that are really here celebrating. They're proud. They have something to talk about. And so whether it's your career, you getting an advancement in your career, now somebody sees that they can go beyond where they are. You write that book, it inspires someone. So the big lesson that I've learned is what you finish is never just about you. So if I was talking to my 21-year-old self, what would I say? That's a really good question, because I remember I was married with a child during that time, and I was going through a lot of pain, a lot of challenges. So what would I tell myself? I think one of the things that I would say is that what's on the other side of pain is something beautiful. Trust the process. That's one thing that I would say. Trust the process, because what's on the other side of pain is going to be something beautiful. I think about the story of the cake. People don't want to eat butter by itself or flour by itself, but when it's all mixed together, it all comes together and it works together for your good. It comes together as something really beautiful. And I think in life, the experiences that I've had, it always produces something beautiful. On the other side of what's hard is always something wonderful. And not just for me. I think that's really important to trust the process, though, because while you're going through, that's the most difficult. Someone once said to me, you got to go through to get to. And so I do really believe that on the other side of pain is something beautiful. Another lesson that, and I think even more important than that first one for me, is follow God and the counsel of wise people. 100%. Follow God and the counsel of wise people. I can't tell you how many times I bumped my head and scarred my knees, and I've gone all around the mulberry bush and to end up back where people told me I should have been. If only I had listened. If only I had followed what I knew I was supposed to do. And so I've learned over the years to listen to wise counsel. Notice I didn't just say counsel. Because there's some people that are going to share some things with you that is not going to be wisdom. It's going to be from their pain. It's going to be from their disappointments. And so I think those would be two of the big lessons that I would share with my 21-year-old self that I think would really have changed a lot of things, but can help a lot of people. When I think about what's next for me, I've done a lot of things, and I'm at a place now where it's really about generational impact. It's about legacy. And so my focus is going to be on the Finishers Network, that division of my company. I'm going to establish a resource hub where people can access information and support from all over the world. One of the biggest challenges that I see people face is not finishing what they start. And people come to me and they have excuses. They have all these reasons why. I'm a procrastinator. It's too late. I'm not going to be able to do it. I don't have the resources. I don't have the funding. And sometimes it's just one conversation. It's one resource. It's something simple. And so building a community of finishers that fuel one another, that inspire and empower one another to cross the finish lines of their goals is what I'm really focusing on next. Because I do believe that finishing is not just about you. And there are people, when you write that book, that you may save a life. You start that business. You continue or you expand that business into another territory. It's going to have impact. And you may not see the impact in your lifetime, but you have to trust that it really will make a difference for someone at some point. So finishing for me is really the focus. It's about building a community. I can't do this alone. I need support. I'm gathering a team of people that will be able to help me to grow this movement is what I call it. It's a movement for finishers. And I want to hear people say, I am a finisher. I make progress, not excuses. I'm a victor, not a victim. I run this race not just to say I'm in it, but to finish it, because I am a finisher. And I will finish everything that I was born to finish. That's what I'm after. This is about legacy. One of the reasons that people hire my company is because they feel they can trust us. So I have a team of partners and individuals that we work together to really help individuals and organizations move forward in a number of ways. We offer coaching, mentoring, training, online courses, a number of things. But what they tell us is that they know that they're going to receive value. And, it's interesting that some of the work that I've done, someone came to me, they said, I attended a training that you did 15 years ago, and I've been sending my staff to your training. I make sure I look for you. And I didn't know that. I didn't know that she had been sending these folks. But then just a few years ago, she contacted me and said, my organization wants to develop a program for some of our leadership. And we'd love if you would help us to develop it. We'd love for you and your team to consult with us to help us. And that led to a contract with one of the largest faith-based nonprofit institutions in this country. It's those kinds of things. I recently attended an event for a contract that I have with another organization. My team and I, we provide various support around mentoring and doing some other things. And the president of the organization was standing there, and I walked up to speak. And he looked at me and he said, thank you for what you do. Thank you. He said, the old saying that people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. He said, when you come in, you bring your authentic self to the work that you do. You show that you care. Thank you for that. That really meant a lot, because those are the types of messages that we receive. Because it's not all about the money for me. It really isn't. I am after impact. I want people's lives to be changed whether it's me or someone from my team, we work with them, that this can't be just about getting the next dollar from them. It really does have to be about impact. And so that's what I'm going to be focused on. That's why they hire us. That's why they hire my organization to come in and do the work that we do. And I'm grateful for every opportunity where we have an opportunity to make an impact, make a difference. What I've enjoyed most about this experience, it's been amazing, first of all, working with Shay as it has been in the past. He and his team have made this fun for me. It really has. And to really help me to focus in on what's important and what I need to be doing. But this whole experience has just been amazing. He and his team are so professional. They're fun. They're authentic. They just have made this a wonderful experience, unlike probably anything I've done before. So I'm really grateful. It's just been a wonderful experience, and I'd recommend Shay and his team to anyone. As long as you want to have some fun. How about that?